Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are discussing our fantasy football running back tiers for our most recent rankings. We want to help you win your draft to win your league. Let's start this fantasy football podcast right meow.
Hey everyone, I am Justin, that is Kyle, and this is the Fantasy Football Upside. Thanks for checking out our Fantasy Football podcast and YouTube channel. We appreciate it. Kyle, that was a lot of fun last week, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's always one of our busiest time. It's one of our funnest subjects, and that was our sleeper episodes. Definitely check that out.
Yeah, I think maybe at the end of this week, maybe we go give another batch. Maybe some wide receivers, a little bit of running back, maybe a couple names. A little deeper. Get a little bit deeper. Yeah.
You know what? Smash that subscribe button. Just see how it feels for a little bit.
Yeah.
But we definitely gained a lot of momentum going off of last week, going into our draft season that we're coming up on. So let's keep it going, Upsiders. We got this, guys. Let's keep it going. But today we wanted to mix it up. We wanted to go through our updated running back rankings, but we really wanted to break it down in tiers because I know that a lot of people have been asking for tiers, not just RB1, RB2, because, not everybody has the same 12-team. Yeah. It's different out there. So we wanted to break it down in tiers for you all.
Yeah, and it also kind of allows us to give you an understanding of how we think about each position. And at running back, like we're talking about today, it's going to help you kind of understand how we view consistency, how valuable that is, or how valuable upside is, just different things, how often they're going to get carries, and where we look at the value drop off. So yeah,
absolutely.
All right, so I guess we could just dive in headfirst in the shallow end on this one. What do you say? You ready to do it?
Let's do it.
Let's
do it.
Let's have an argument.
Let's do it. So Kyle's going to share our website, our rankings website. So this is really cool. If you guys haven't been able to check it out, it is part of our premium resources. Is that correct, Kyle? It's part of our Patreon.
I think we're going to pull the rankings out of the premium resources because we have some really awesome tools that we're pushing into the website here shortly. That's going to be located in the premium resources, and they're phenomenal. And the rankings, we're going to be doing those all the time. And so I think, that's going to change so often that probably it'll be changed often enough. We might as well just let everybody kind of see it and hang out.
Let's give the people what they
want. Give the people what they want. All right. So let's just, I guess, get moving on this here. We have at, let's see here. We're talking about tier one. Where would you throw your tier one break?
I mean, I feel like it's something that's out there all the time, and we're looking at this as standard scoring as well, everybody. So for our tier one, in my opinion, I say we would stop after Derrick Henry. So CMC, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, those are some league winners right there for sure.
That's where I'm at as well. So we're going to talk about the composite ranking, and you'll be able to see our rankings there as well. I'm in the center column, and Justin's rankings are in the far right, the far right column. And so the composite rankings are the first number there. So that's the number we're going to talk about most of the time, probably. But I think we both go after Derrick Henry. I don't think there's much reason to go beyond that or cut off before that. All three of those guys were phenomenal. Now I have seen some people are ranking Zeke number one overall. Oh gosh, I hope
those Zeke truthers.
I hope that is an island in the noise, because my goodness, if anybody hears that and goes, "Sounds good, I'm going to go take Zeke at the top of the draft," I mean, you deserve to be laughed out of the room, because man, don't do that.
You're going to be super happy if you have like the fourth pick as well.
Yeah. If you have the fourth pick and you get, yes.
Someone drafts Zeke number one. You're like, woohoo.
Yeah. Like,
we're good.
Single tier.
Because that is a tough choice. I mean, everybody, if you're looking at this, like when it comes to that, that's why we have it, the tier one, these top three running backs, because you got that fourth pick in the draft. You're really going to have to start making a decision.
Yeah.
So, and there's a lot of people in this next tier, which is our tier two that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
And just to go back on Zeke, we like Zeke.
We do.
Maybe not number one overall, Zeke.
Yeah, I'm actually a little higher on him this year than I was last year. But I still don't see him as an elite, like top six guy. I just don't.
And why is that? Is it because someone's there?
Yeah, it's our old buddy here, Mike McCarthy. He does not
Shaq
support.
McCarthy.
Yeah, Shaq McCarthy. Old went to the middle of the woods McCarthy. He just doesn't support running backs like at all. He just does not. And I got into a discussion about that with people before, and they were like, "Yeah, but he had Amon Green," and I'm like, "No, he had 1 year with Amon Green. Like, it was the tail end of his career. He had a quarterback lead the team in rushing touchdowns 1 year. Aaron Rodgers led the team in touchdowns 1 year. It was like 2014 or something like that, I think." It's not like they were just trying to figure it out. They had Eddie Lacy on the team at the time. I mean, I don't get it. But anyway, let's move on here. Let's talk about tier 2, I think, where we would cut off our tier 2. So this runs
after Derrick Henry. Yep.
Yeah, after Derrick Henry. So starting with Alvin Kamara. And for me, I'm at a bit of a crossroads here. I know where you are, but for me, I am either between Chubb at 7.
Yep. 7 miles an hour.
Or I'm after Zeke at 9. And I think it's because I would push Jones out of this tier. Just right now, I'm a little bit more concerned about this offense. I don't know where it's going. As we're recording this, we don't know what's happening at all with Aaron Rodgers. The shareholder meeting has yet to come up. The start of camp has yet to really hit. So we don't have any clue right now. So we're playing in the dark here a little bit. And so I think actually, Jones is still a phenomenal talent. So I think I would put it after Zeke still.
Yep.
So that's where I'm at.
And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I know we were just kind of bashing Zeke just a little bit, but I mean, we're still looking at someone that is supposedly in the best shape of his life. But the biggest thing is you're getting a healthy Dak, and you're also getting a healthy offensive line back.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing with this. So, and then Zeke does get some work on the outside as well, or, when it comes to the passing game as well. So
I think we're not bashing Zeke. It's that we are bashing the situation.
Yeah.
And that happens really often, actually.
Yeah. But if you're looking at it, just look at those names. You know the names and you know what you're going to get out of those. And then it's after Zeke, then you start to get just a little bit of some questions here or there. So I feel like that's why we really like this tier 2 to end right here, right after Ezekiel Elliott.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right. Do you want to keep talking about some of these guys? Why you think that they should be in tier 2 or how you think of tier 2 at all?
I think it's one of those ones. It's one of those ones where if you don't get the opportunity to draft the top 3, I mean, you're lucky enough to get one of these guys, and I would still feel comfortable enough drafting any one of those in the first round.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's probably... You would probably pull Joe Mixon in, I think, if you could, into that tier.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. I don't know, though. I would actually probably maybe even pull Antonio Gibson in there. But these are the last of the running backs that I would feel comfortable drafting in the first round. And I think that's what really breaks it apart for me going into that tier 3 is who I would feel comfortable drafting in the first round.
See, I was 50-50 about Gibson in deciding exactly where I wanted this line in the end. And it was because the reason I didn't bring him in was because I actually see him as a top of the second round, like a great grab, like just a phenomenal grab right there. And I think that that's an awesome, if you're in like a 12-team league, I think at the top of the second getting him, if you paired him with one of the elite wide receivers at the back of the like you were talking about 10, 11, 12 pick of the first round, if there's a run on these running backs all the way through 9, right? And then you've got 10, 11, or 12th pick, and you grab a wide receiver, Gibson is an amazing consolation prize. So
absolutely,
that's why I ended up. I feel comfortable with him at the top of the second. But I see him finishing as a top 12 guy. I really do. So all right, let's talk about tier 3 here. This one's on you, right? Who you got?
Yeah, it's like I said, you start to get just a little bit of some questions here or there when it comes to this tier 3. I wouldn't draft these guys in the first round, but I would feel comfortable drafting them in the second or third round. This is where you're really starting to make your roster right here. Is off of these RB2s, and heck, if you get lucky enough to maybe put one of these guys in your flex, and you can possibly win the whole dang thing. You know what I mean? Like But when it comes to my tier 3, I'm looking at down. Like I love the idea of a David Montgomery, Najee Harris, Chris Carson. I'm going all the way down to Miles Sanders right here. Okay. That's our composite ranking of number 19.
All right, he's down there at the bottom of our screen a little bit there.
Yeah, so I still look at him to be a part of our tier 3 right now.
Okay.
And there are a lot of running backs there in Philadelphia, but there's nobody with the caliber and the athleticism of a Miles Sanders. And, DeAndre Swift, we may be tweaking our rankings just a little bit on that. We just don't know what that offense is going to look like in Detroit.
I think he's going to end up with a little more timeshare than people were guessing. Like, a lot of people are really high on him, and I'm just like, Jamal Williams eats carries, guys.
You know that from experience, even though, but there's a huge difference between DeAndre Swift and Aaron Jones, in my opinion, and what you're able to do with the amount of carries. But it was also, we're talking two totally different teams and totally different offenses that could actually, get the ball down the field from the Detroit to Green Bay Packers that can suffice a couple running backs. But
all right, so my break is different. My break is different there, actually. Okay. So for me, I end tier 3 a little bit earlier than you do. I ended after Chris Carson at 16. I just feel like there is a known quantity versus unknown quantity question for me there, where I push Sanders down the board further than you have, just because I feel like he's not lived up to the expectation. He's got a changing offense. He's got a new quarterback. It's just a lot of question marks for me. So that's a question mark. DeAndre Swift is a question mark, obviously. I mean, you got Dan Campbell as your coach. How many kneecaps can you eat as the running back? So I don't know what to do with that.
Limit I don't about how many you can eat? Is there?
Could you really... could you ever fill up on kneecaps? I don't know.
I mean, is it 2,500 or 3,000 calories? Is that what the suggested?
Well, for an NFL running back, I'm guessing it's a little higher.
Probably.
And then Clyde Edwards, Hilaire, I almost pulled him in, but I don't think that KC is sold 100% on him.
I see your hesitation, man. When he hit the wall. He hit it hard. Yeah. But I think a lot of that could be contributed to what he had to do in college. Mm-hmm. And then came in and he was balls to the wall that very first week 1. And then I think he was like, oh, this is what it feels like after a week of professional football without having the preseason.
So I'm after Carson, just like I said. I think that all of those other guys, you can expect a certain level of performance. And I think that all of those guys are going to finish as RB2s across the season and could perform anywhere from an RB3 to an RB1 at any given time throughout the year. But more often than not, it's going to average out to an RB2. And then I'm just not sure beyond that. Like, I have real concerns with the rest of those guys that you've got there. But then, as we move on. So let's check out tier 4 here. I've got that actually after Myles Gaskin here. So at 26. So let's see here. For me, it runs from Clyde Edwards Hilaire to Myles Gaskin at 26. And it's the same sort of thing. I kind of know what the situation is with these guys, and it's just that they're not going to get... My problem with them is they're not going to get the volume, and you can't rely on it. So, or that the offense is just not going to be that hot on the run game, or they've got a new backup who's going to be cutting in on pass work like Josh Jacobs, or James Robinson's with Etienne. So, and DeAndre Swift has with Jamal Williams, and then you've got Gaskin's got an issue with Salvon Ahmed. Damian Harris has got, he's injured now, but Ramanger, what's his last name? Ramanger Stevenson, but he's banged up right now. And then Kareem Hunt is the backup, right? So, but he's not technically. He's probably the best backup in the league because he gets carries, right, consistently and performs at a high level. So that's kind of where I am with these guys. I know that you're going to get value out of each one of these. After these guys, it starts to severely drop out. Like the consistency, the willingness to stick anybody beyond one of these guys into my flex spot if I'm in a 2 running back and a flex. If I'm in a league like that, if I'm getting outside of this range, I'm starting to get really worried, and I'm thinking I need to start making moves, find some guys off that waiver wire. So that's where I'm at.
That's really good. That's a really good statement there, Kyle. When it comes to write that down. When it comes to me saying that's really good for you.
Where is it? There it is.
Write that down.
But I like that because and I'm gonna say the same thing. And Myles Gaskin is where I'm gonna end my tier for this tier 4. But it's like you just said, who I feel comfortable putting in my flex spot. Anybody past that, I just would not feel comfortable putting that person in a flex.
Yeah.
You probably have to put another wide receiver or something like that in there compared to what you would have left at the running back position as it sits. Because you mentioned it, it's either, they're not the bell cow, or they're already the backup, or they have someone that is in the wings that are is coming up, going to be taking a fair share of it.
Yeah.
We both like James Robinson still when it comes to fantasy football. I mean, we think Travis Etienne is going to be a good fantasy football player.
Oh, yeah.
But they have mentioned that they're going to try to get him on the field at the same time. It is a totally different coaching scheme and everything like that, new coaches, everything. But I still think what James Robinson did last year can't be understated.
No.
But when it comes to that, the Josh Jacobs, man, that scares me. I don't know if I'm going to have that many shares in Josh Jacobs this year, because I would not want to trust him as an RB2. But if you need to put him in your flex, then that's good. But that's why he didn't make it to tier 3, is because of those issues right there. And Daryl Henderson, I mean, that's the talk right now, of course, because of Cam Akers going down. But there's a reason why they drafted Cam Akers. There's a reason why they decided not to
he hasn't
continue
moved
with Todd Gurley.
Yeah, he hasn't moved far up my board. Like a lot of people have him like
top 15
moonshot and stuff. And I'm like, they're going to bring in vets and he's going to be splitting carries. There's a reason, like you said, that they drafted Cam Akers. It's because he wasn't reliable. He couldn't beat out, I forget who it was they had that he couldn't beat out the year before they drafted Cam.
I knew you were going to say that.
Can't remember who it was, but they basically had a 3-headed attack, everybody thought. And no, it turned into Cam Akers.
Malcolm Brown, yeah.
He couldn't beat out Malcolm Brown. So, yeah.
We another one that we really liked, kind of star on there, is Damian Harris. We really think this is going to be the number 1 running back for a Patriots offense that we're hoping is going to be improving.
Yep.
But you do have the QB vulture that we think is, Cam Newtown is still most likely going to be the QB week 1.
Yeah.
But there's really not a whole lot behind Damian Harris as of right now. Sony Michel is probably going to be a training camp cut. Ramanger Stevenson that you mentioned, I think he's placed on either COVID list or physically on it was some sort of list that
I think it was
non-injured.
It was non-football related injury.
Which means that could actually be a football-related injury. Just didn't happen inside the training facility, which is ridiculous. But I like these, and I like Mike Davis.
I think that drafting Ramanger Stevenson, adding the 2 tight ends that they added in the offseason, I think it signals heavily that they intend to run the heck out of the ball.
Yeah.
So
I could see that.
Yeah.
I mean that's one way. I mean, especially if it is Cam Newton, or even if it's
Mac Jones.
Oh my gosh, Mac Jones. Thank you. I was wanting to say Cam Jones. You just flip it. It's,
just flip it.
Look at there.
Cam Mac.
Wow. But even with that, you're not going to be hucking it down the field with a rookie QB or a busted up shoulder Cam Newton.
Yep.
So I feel good with that tier 4.
Where you got?
We got on the next one.
Our last tier here. Let's see here. I think that I had the last one, but we can go ahead here. I have Edwards at 40 as my break off here. So we have from Gaskin.
It's a big one.
All the way down to Gus Edwards here. So let me see if I can get it onto the screen a little bit.
While you're doing that, it's one of those things where these are all very much draftable and rosterable. This is the depth. This is what you do when it comes to trying to win a league, is making sure you find some of these guys that are available in this range that have some upside, but maybe there are people ahead of them. But like a Javonte Williams who's a rookie. You got Melvin Gordon that's still there. This is his final year of a 2-year, $16 million. They want to probably get some money out of Melvin Gordon, who did actually play pretty well once he did finally come back from either his suspension or hurt. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah.
But there's also a reason why they drafted him. But then you have David Johnson, where he's one running back of like 20 on that roster.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing they did last year, and it was just a ton of vets and just it's really hard to get enough carries to justify it.
All these guys in here, man, they're split workload type players.
Yep.
I mean, we have a couple rookies that are sprinkled right in there that you're you're hoping, but this is where you always find a lot of your rookie running backs. If you're not a first round running back, you're not a Saquon Barkley or something like that in the NFL.
It's draft. This is the transitional zone, right? This is the guys moving up, the guys moving down. These are the guys heading out of the league, and a lot of the guys coming into the league, kind of thing.
No, that's a really good way to put it. Where you know what they are compared to maybe maybe we don't quite know yet. Could be really good. Could be bust.
Yeah. So I think that I have him after Edwards and then everybody else in tier 6 essentially.
Yep.
So is that where you ended up?
That's actually where I ended up as well, and I think Gus Edwards should be a guy that should be talked about a little bit more now that Mark Ingram is officially out. Justice Hill is, I think, still on the roster, but
he is.
When you get J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards,
Ingram's in Houston. That's one of the guys they added in Houston.
It's one of the guys.
Yeah.
Just one of the guys.
Yep.
But I like Gus Edwards because
he's a bruiser.
Likes Gus Edwards.
Yeah, and he's a bruiser. He hits. He goes up the middle. He hits.
Yeah.
So, yep. I think that's where we are, guys. So we've got 5 real tiers, and then it's everybody else after that. So it ends for us at Gus Edwards at tier 5. So where I ended up was after Henry, tier 1, and then after Zeke at tier 2. After Carson at 16, I had tier 3, and tier 4 is after Gaskin at 26, and then tier 5 was Edwards at 40. So,
yeah, we were pretty much right there. The only differences was that tier 3. I did include a couple more in there down to Miles Sanders, but after that, crazy enough, we actually agreed on a few things.
Yeah. Well, hang around tomorrow because we're going to talk about wide receivers tomorrow, and that's where the fireworks going to happen because we do not agree. I think after the top few guys, we don't agree. And it only gets worse from there because then when we start talking about QBs and tight ends, I think it's just as cataclysmic. So make sure you check back in tomorrow, guys. Hey, comment down below. What did we get right? What did we get wrong? We're going to leave it to you guys to suss that out and tell us where your breaks are. Maybe you've got some ideas. And head on over. I think that we've got this unlocked right now, so you should be able to head on over to the website and check out the rankings that we've got set up right now. If it is locked, just drop a note down there, and I'll unlock these rankings. So,
and let us know if this is something that you guys are really interested in. Like I said, we wanted to, split it up a little differently when it comes to talking RB1, RB2, because there's a big difference between the top and high end RB1s compared to a low end RB1 and vice versa. So
which is actually, that's something about our power rankings, which is part of our premium resources. That's really, really good. It shows you the guys who consistently perform as a top 6 back and how often guys are busting, not performing, not showing up for you at all, that sort of stuff. And it's important stuff. It's really, that's what makes you better at fantasy football. Anybody can look at it and say, this guy's an RB2. He finished the year as an RB2. It's he had 3 weeks where he performed as the best running back in the whole league, and the rest of the time he had nothing. It's that's not a good running back. That's just not a guy you should have. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. We're going to talk about wide receivers. Have fun. Thanks for hanging around.
See ya.
Bye.